Hey, hello there. Let's solve today's Leetcode challenge question. It's called island parameter. So we have a map which is represented as a two-dimensional arrays. 0 is water, 1 is island, a land. The land can be connected horizontally or vertically to form a bigger island. There is exactly one island on this problem. So exactly one connected component on this problem. There's no lakes in this problem, so there's no holes. Keep reading the question. We want to determine the parameter of the island. That's equivalent to saying we want to count the number of sides that each individual cells on the island that is exposing to the water. So in this particular problem example, the side that counts towards the parameter is colored in yellow. So we just count the number of such line segment we have. It will be 16. So how do we solve this? If we have the simplest island on this graph, it will be a single cell with a value 1. It's going to have 0 in the 4 directional neighbors. For that particular cell, the parameter for the simplest island will be 4, because every cell, every single side out of total of 4 contributes to the parameter. But if it's connected with other piece of land, it will lose 1 at least on that side. So if we look at this particular cell, row 2, column 2, because it's connected with another land on 4 directions, this particular land contributes 0 to the parameter. But if we look at the cell that's a row above it, that land is connected only to another land that's 1 row below it. So it still contributes 3 to the total parameter. So the way we can, a very brute force way to solve this is just gonna enumerate over all the possible locations on the map. By default, it will contribute 4 to the total parameter if it is a land. After we do that contribution, we'll look around to the neighbors. If we find a neighbor land, we will decrease the contribution by 1. So that's the brute force solution. Let's just code this thing up. So we grab the number of rows, number of columns on this island. And then just gonna do a loop and do a nested loop. We initialize this parameter to hold the total number of side exposing to water that will be added to it. Excuse me. So we enumerate over all the possible locations on the map. If this position is a land, we will add 4 to the parameter. Or we can just continue if it's not a land. If it's a land, we add 4 to the parameter, and we're gonna check all the 4 neighbors. If it's a valid location and it's also a land, then we have to decrease that parameter by 1. So in the end, we can just return this parameter. Yeah, so it's working. The little bit of problem with this one is that we are doing double counting. So if we look at the cell at row 2, column 2, we will look up and find that we have to decrease the contribution by 1. But for the cell that's above it, you will check the cell below it and to make sure do this decrementation again. So we are for this cell, this particular cell, we consider for this particular segment, we basically consider that twice, but it's unnecessary. So to reduce this complexity, we can, for every cell, every land, we only look at the top and left, to do this decrease. So if we find the side is shared by 2 land, we directly decrease that by 2. That way we can essentially halve the time complexity. So the way to do that is basically only looking at the 2 sides. I'm going to comment this out. Looking for the row above or the column towards left. If it's land, then we decrease this by 2, so that the nested loop still doesn't change, but we're looking only for left and top. So by doing this, we can essentially halve the time complexity. It should be working as well. Yeah. So that's this problem.